When you know a friend or a family member or a coworker has PTSD, or even if they just jump when you come up behind them and say boo, don't do that. It's not funny. Let's talk about stress, anxiety, and PTSD. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to the Goodness James Show. Today I want to talk about PTSD and anxiety. I have both of those, and they're not the easiest thing to deal with. So let's talk about them. First, let's talk about some triggers. Some of my triggers are when somebody comes to the door unexpectedly. If I'm not expecting somebody at the door and there's that, knock on the door, that's a big trigger for me. If I don't expect you and you show up, I may not answer the door because that's a huge trigger. It really does send me into a panic attack. Another one, phone calls. When I'm not expecting a phone call, if you call and I don't recognize your number, I'm probably going to let it go to voicemail, where I'm going to ignore it, because that's another big anxiety trigger for me. A big one, in a relationship or at work, when somebody comes along, especially at work, if it's your boss or if it's your significant other, and says, hey, we need to talk, that's a huge trigger for my anxiety. And the one thing I can say that I do to get over that is, when I hear that, hey, let's talk, I try to get out of them, first of all, is it a good talk or a bad talk? Because if it's a good talk, then I'm all for it. But if they say it's a good talk and then it turns into a not so good talk, that's pretty bad. And some of the things that I hear about how to cope. Some people say medication and meditation, but other people say they won't take medication for their anxiety or their PTSD because they don't want to get hooked on something forever. They say that they don't want to be on a drug for the rest of their life. I can understand that, but I have been on a social anxiety medicine, Paxil, since 2001. My anxiety really ramped up at 9/11. Every time I would hear an airplane, great timing for sound effects, every time I'd hear an airplane or a helicopter go across I just dropped the mic, go across the sky, I would have to track it with my eyes, and I don't know why. I don't know what I was looking for. I guess because of 9/11, when they crashed into the buildings and in Pennsylvania into that field. So that's when I talked to my doctor and we got on Paxil. I'm not sponsored by my doctor or by Paxil or by anybody else. I'm just saying that I'm okay with being on meds the rest of my life if it will make it so I can be in a room and not be completely freaked out all of the time. I still have panic attacks, but they're nothing like they used to be. Let's address PTSD for a minute. There was an incident, something that happened to me, let's put it that way, years and years ago, a couple of decades ago, in the late 80s, and I'm not going to tell you in this video what happened. I may never tell you, but it was something that happened to me, and because of that I have PTSD, and I have a hard time trusting and being in a situation where I'm not in some kind of control. Co-workers in the past have found it funny to come up behind me and grab my chair, or once they find out that I'm jumpy, they'll do things like that. And don't do that to people. It's not funny. Don't. PTSD and anxiety, best thing I can say is get some professional help if you can. I advocate medicine. I definitely advocate meditation. There are great meditation videos on YouTube. Some of them are like 10-12 hours long, so you can listen to them going to sleep and keep listening to them while you're asleep. And it's really good. Good music, soothing, ambient sounds are really good for that. But I would like to know, I know this has been a long video, I want to know how you cope with anxiety and stress and PTSD. If you would please leave in the comments either a video or, type it out, a comment telling me how you deal with anxiety and PTSD and stress, it would help other people. And I keep dropping my mic. And I would appreciate it very much if you would do that. Also, if you would like this video, and if you would subscribe to my channel, and if you would share this for other people, I would really appreciate that too. One final coping mechanism that I find is really helpful is find some kind of a hobby. For me, a drone. Now, this drone was broken in its last flight, so I don't fly this very often, but when I get it repaired, it's really relaxing. So find a hobby, music, singing, reading, chilling, and that's all I got to say for now. But if you have questions, ask your questions in the comments. I'll do my best to respond, either in the comments or with the follow-up video. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm not going to drop my mic anymore. Thanks for watching the Goodness James channel.